An idea I've had brewing in the back of my mind for months now, honestly, ever since I saw Maximilian's Marvel vs. Capcom Infinite mod he did, Infinte and Beyomd. I thought about what if we, as a community, made a MK11 mod, and I say as a community because I have no idea how to make a fucking mod for this game. I am not MaximilianDood either. I do not have the funds to make a fucking mod for this game either. So I can't pay someone or anything. But I know there's people in the community who are probably capable of something like this. People like the Finny, who have constantly beta mined all the games at this point. I don't know if he has any modding expertise or any modding background at all, but I'm sure he could mod the game. There are also people who have already made like trainers for the games to enable different mods to be implemented within the game, like playing as Cyrax or putting in different skins and stuff. I'm sure something like this is possible, I just don't know who's capable of it and who also wants to do it. But also, there's a lot of different system changes that I would like to see with a mod like this. It's not just for like visuals. The visuals of the game already look great. It's not like it needs a visual overhaul like Infinite did, but I think this game needs a system mechanic overhaul as well as a few character overhauls, and I think it's possible. So I wanted to go over a couple changes we'd be making in something like this. I think I'll start off with the system mechanics first, and then move on to the character-specific changes that I decided on. There's actually quite a few. There's certain characters I ended up with like no changes on, which is fair. I think some characters are already quite strong the way they are and are perfectly fine, and actually suit the custom variation system well already. Well, there's certain other characters who could definitely use some help when it comes to customs, and so we'll talk about them in a second. But first, we'll talk about the system changes I was thinking about. If you watched my previous MK11 video that I did, like the little retrospective video, I did talk about different system changes I would like and the issues the game had. So some of these are definitely fixable, definitely moddable in my opinion, and then there's a couple that might be harder to implement. The first thing is the meter system. I would love for this to be changed. Basically, it should just work how it works in MKX, MK1, and MK9. So no regenerating meter, and basically attacks and specials on hit or block will generate offensive meter, and then getting hit or blocking attacks will generate defensive meter, right? So if you're doing a combo, you're not generating defensive meter. You're just generating offensive meter, and then if you're blocking something is how you generate defensive meter. This will just basically, in my opinion, fix many things about the game. It'll fix the wake up system because you won't have meter to wake up all the time, and it'll fix flawless block because you won't have meter to flawless block all the time, and up 2 and up 3. Now you might be saying, what if I flawless block to anti-air all the time? That's my answer for it. I won't have my meter flawless block anti-air. We're getting to that. Down 2 changes. Universally unsafe on block. Basically the same hit reaction it has, or block reaction it has on flawless block, if you're not familiar. It's unsafe, has no push back. That's basically how it should be on normal block. I don't know why they're safe, I don't know why they push back. It basically just encourage that down 2 mashing bullshit by having it fucking push back and reset neutral. That shit is ridiculous. Unsafe, no push block, or pushback. Holy shit. Oh my god. And then the second change. Air invincible, like DPs are in certain Street Fighter games. So it's a universal anti-air. This will just fix all the broken, dumb characters who have annoying ass jump-ins. Basically, yeah, you can just down 2 them. In a lot of cases, most characters can't get a combo unless it's a really high down 2. And that means it has to be fairly, not necessarily preemptive, but very close, very good timing means it was a good anti-air. You were waiting and you were ready, right? You get rewarded with maybe a little combo, a little something something. Otherwise, if it's a late anti-air, you don't get anything, you just get the damage. right? And you can do a late anti-air now, with it being air invincible. Maybe have it start up at a certain amount of frames, so maybe you can't do it like super late, and you do still have to time it. So maybe like it starts up in 6 frames. I think that's fair, because most down 2s are like 9 to like 12, I think, in this game. So maybe it starts up in like 6, and then so if you down 2 like super late, you'll still get stuff. But if you're good with anti-airs and you down 2, you should get it. Next change, Fatal Blows. This one's actually really easy in terms of like what you should change. I don't know if the first one is implementable, honestly. It would be adding a freeze frame like in MK1, but this one honestly isn't that much an issue if you could do the second one, which is remove the pushback on block. If you just remove that, I think honestly they can stay the same and it's fine. But if you could add a freeze frame, I think that'd be even better, like in MK1. That's the one good thing MK1 did, was that freeze frame. Like every other fucking like every other fucking fighting game ever, mind you. So on to the actual like really hard to implement stuff. Probably the hardest one on the list is just to remove breakaway and armor breaks entirely, just the mechanic entirely removed, and replace it with a regular breaker, like an MK9, MKX, and MK1. Don't know if that's possible. If not, it's honestly fine to leave it the way it is. I think it has... Breakaway has some depth to it, almost like Burst in Guilty Gear. It just isn't balanced in the same way. Burst only ever rewards the attacker, the person who landed the hit. The defender can never get a combo off Burst, I don't think. Someone could correct me if I'm wrong, but I don't think so, because it just like sends you full screen. So the defender is never really rewarded in any situation in Guilty Gear off like the burst mechanic. It always just rewards the attacker for making a read and blocking it and then getting another combo. So it only ever rewards the person who got the hit. In MK11, the person who got the hit is constantly punished for getting the hit. So not really the same for anyone who wants to make that fucking argument. I don't know how you don't get that shit. Breakaway is just ass in all regards. That's why I kind of just want it removed. But if it stays, it's whatever. And then the last thing would be to fix the desync issue. Oh my god. We were going to be playing this mod on PC, obviously. And if we're going to play it, we got to be able to play it. And right now, the desync issue on PC makes the game nearly unplayable. Now, I will say, you can occasionally find a player who has really no desync issue with you whatsoever. I found a player, really good Shao player. I think this guy might be the best Shao ever on PC. I am arguably the best Scorpion. Don't mean to toot my own horn, but definitely the best Scorpion on PC. I'm like fucking Averg Jr. over here. And that guy was definitely the best Shao I've ever played. He was so good. I also have friends with the best Jax. He is amazing. Jay is so good. I think Jay could have definitely been a pro player. He would have given people a fucking good run with his Jax, bro. I'm telling you, he would have been like a Gur. You know, just always sliding in the top 8 and just never winning anything, but always getting in the top 8, just like a Gur. I swear he would have been. Alright, on to the character changes. So, we'll start off with my boy Scorp. This is just to give you an idea, really, of the kind of changes I'm looking for. Make Demon Dash and Demon Breath part of his base toolkit. These moves are ass anyway. Just make them part of his base kit so he can do them with other variations. And so he can just style more. That's all this is really adding. It's not really making him a better character at all. It just makes it so that he can play around more with certain variations. And he has these moves also to rely on. So another change I would make is to make it so that any moves that have like conflictions, try to remove as many conflictions as we can, and that's just for most of the characters across the board, I think. So for example, Scorpion has a confliction where he can't have, I think it's the extra moves, and he has to have that with the death spin move. Basically remove that restriction so I can just have, maybe if I want, the extra moves and the tele cancel. And then I can have also Demon Dash and Demon Breath as part of the base kit. I think that'd be fair. Makes Scorpion a much better character, much more fun. He can wiggle around more with the variation system. Hell, this is maybe pushing it, but I think you could even remove the 2-slot limit on tele cancel. Just maybe. Throwing it out there. I think if not, it's still fair. I think he's fine. But I think that's honestly a fair change you could maybe have. Moving on to my next character, that's also a change I was thinking about for him because he's already so good, is Sub-Zero. But I would make his Arctic Track move 1 slot. It's ass. It's 2 slots for some reason. Make it just 1 slot so people who want to use it and can use some other cool shit. I think that would make him way more fun to play, for sure. We could at least have his little ice clone, kind of. His quasi ice clone. He'll give Tom Brady something. Liu Kang. Now I will say, I think Liu is really strong. The way the end game buffed him, he is so strong the way he is. With the command grab, the low fireball, and the little nunchuck string. With the overhead and the low, and then he was able to command grab. He's already so good with that, I think, honestly. So, I honestly wanted a slight nerf to Liu Kang. Ninja might not like this. Ninja, you were carried. I don't give a fuck, bro. This character is so fucking easy. Like, bro, you can whiff 1-2 from like half screen away. How many characters can fucking whiff punish that consistently? Genuinely how many? Genuinely how many? You know there's only a few characters who can genuinely whiff punish that shit consistently. Wake up buttons too? Get the fuck out of here. This character's so easy. The one thing I would change about him is make him slightly more minus maybe at the end of a few of his strings. I don't know what he is currently at the end of his 1, 2, 3 or back 2 string, for example. But he can get away with just like doing back 2 string into doing back 2 string again, I feel. And that shit is kind of cheap. Like, honestly, if you're not on point with like getting your interruption and you're waiting for the low fireball and you just have a slight hesitation, bro, you're getting hit. I promise you. It's so cheap, lucky. The fact that he gets special cancel to end of all of his strings is incredible. I changed to Scorpion. Let's go back. His back 1 string. If you could special cancel the end of it, that would be sick. Would actually be an insane buff. Don't know if it's possible to do in a mod. But if you could do that, bro, Aberk, we'd be chilling, bro. Can you imagine being able to special cancel the end of that string, bro? Come on now. Alright, anyway. Now I'm living up in fantasy land. Sorry. Alright, Liu Kang. And maybe that as a nerf, more minus at the end of strings, some of them. But a buff I would like to see is his, like, mid-strings whiffing less. I don't know if that is a buff we can give him, but it's maybe a nerf we can give to other characters, is extending their hurt box so they can get hit by his mid more. I know Katana right now, off the top of my head, is the big offender, but I don't know who else is. Maybe even Johnny. I think Johnny has a pretty bad one, and I think Joker as well, maybe. So maybe those characters need to get a hurt box adjustment. Johnny Cage. This is a good change I came up with for him, because he doesn't have a good mid. His mid is quite slow, the one he does have. So he relies a lot on doing down 4s, down 1s, and down 1 rising stars. So I thought a cool change would be to up Rising Star's startup from 9 frames to 6 frames, so it's quicker. One, this will make it a really good anti-air. It's basically a DP, so you can get away with it'll be, right, notice I said the invincibility for DPs start up in 6 frames? Same idea. His Rising Star is now 6 frames, great anti-air. Also, down 1 Rising Star, true combo. Right? So if you get hit with the down 1, the Rising Star is guaranteed. I think it should be a true combo. Just so he has like a little mid check, a little mid combo, a little something. it not comboing is fine, but I think it comboing would be so good, and it wouldn't overbuff him. It'd just be like, yeah, fair. He doesn't have a good mid? There you go. Give him some. I don't think you should nerf the character anyway. I think he's perfect, honestly, the way he is. I think those two changes just would be sick. Melina does need some work, in my opinion. I have no idea how to fix this character. Actually, no, I have a few ideas. Air Psi and Low Psi, base kit, off rip. Those have to be base kit, I don't know why. I know Low Psi has a confliction with the input. Maybe we change the input so there's no confliction. Maybe back forward 3 instead of back forward 1. And then Air Psi. And then as well, something you could do is, I know off her forward 1-2 string, she goes airborne for a second. Allow her to cancel into her Air Psi off that string. I don't know how hard that is to implement, but that would be a really nice change for her. And then back 1, extend the hitbox, her mid string. Just extend the hitbox a little further forward so it has a little more range. Rain honestly I think got pretty good at the end with customs. I think he's pretty good the way he is. One thing I would like to see maybe is add his wave dash move, make that move actually available, and maybe tweak it somehow, so I don't know. But I think he should be able to use that move in competitive. Come on now. Back 2 extend the hitbox, same idea as Melina, his mid, it's too stubby. Extend the hitbox a bit. And then with Rain, the only thing else I can think about, because I think he's pretty good right now, is increase how much damage he gets. I think that one's pretty easy to implement. You could just change the scaling numbers in the game, you know, just the damage values. So he gets a little more damage. You know, right now he gets maybe like 25 to 28% off a hit, usually. Maybe make it 28 to 30. And then I think he's solid, bro. He'd be so much fun. Scarlet, just remove, if not all the gaps in her string, just basically. That's the only fix I can think for Scarlet. I think that's a fair one. Yeah, just remove the gaps, and she's good. Sonya, I couldn't really think of anything. I honestly think she's kind of good. I've played against a few good Sonyas, actually. She smixes you, and if you're good, you can smix and get, like, good combos off each option. So, I think she's pretty good the way she is. The only thing I could think about was maybe making forward 4 also air special cancelable, like this string I was talking about for Melina. I think something like that would be nice. Joker, the only idea I had is similar to Lou. Make forward 1 specifically, that stagger, more minus. That was my only idea, really. Everything else can stay the same. I just think that stagger could take a little nerf. But he can keep like doing a stand 1 stagger into forward 1, that's cool. Shao Kahn. I think for Shao you should remove the gap in his forward 3 string. That was really my only idea with Shao. Again, I was just playing probably the best Shao on PC, and he was doing work. He was really not really even using the string. He was able to do decent shit. But I think giving him that would make him a much better character, more fun to play. Fujin, no changes whatsoever, I think. Shiva, no changes whatsoever, I think. Robocop, I'd have nothing for, honestly. I actually think the character is quite fun the way he is, as long as you play the variation I play, which is the command grab, the flamethrower, and the low shot. I think he's fun as shit in that variation. I think he's fine the way he is, honestly. Terminator, I also think is fine the way he is. The only thing I would change is make the Terminate move base kit and unban it, basically. I think it should just be part of his base kit. He comes back, and you have to kill him. I think it's pretty balanced already the way it is. It's not like a crazy move. He can't really do anything, and he can't block. So I think it's fair. I think it just makes it more fun. Conan the Barbarian, aka Kotal Khan. I think he's fine the way he is. He's super fun. He's one of my favorite characters in the game. Rambo. Just remove some of the gaps in his string. That's the only thing I can think of. I can't really think of anything else to give him. I think he's alright. I think he's downplayed, honestly. I think he's fine. He's just kind of boring in my opinion, that's it. Kano's my guy, and no changes, he's sick the way he is. The only thing is maybe extend the like hurt box of characters so his forward 2 string or forward 1 string doesn't lift. That'd be the only change I'd give to him. Just because that's the only reason he's not like a top tier character and he's only like top 10 maybe, or just outside of top 10 is because he has a few bad matchups. Jackie, Johnny, himself. Cabal is perfect the way he is. He doesn't need any changes. The system changes will nerf some of these characters with like the oppressive jump-ins and shit, right? The down 2 change. So he still has the fucking projectile in there, so he still mix you that way, right? He's still a fucking Akuma. Come on now. Jackie, I couldn't really think of much. The only thing I could think of is maybe a slight adjustment to her frame data. I know she's plus, she has some good staggers. Maybe just adjusted frame data slightly. Cassie, the only thing I could change for her, I think she's pretty good the way she is, but I think make Bubble Burst 1 slot, and then she's sick. Same idea as Sub. They're pretty good already, just give them something else to make them more fun to play. Sindel, don't change anything. Cetrion, slight reduction of pushback on all of her special moves. I think that's a fair change. She sends you really far on block. I know you're supposed to like flawless block, but a lot of people can't do that. Especially consistently. So I think you should reduce the pushback on most of her specials by a little bit. I think that's a fair change. Gearus I think is perfect. Don't change him. Katana. The only change I could think of was, again, extending the hurt box to improve the weird whiffs of moves on block play. Collector, Jade, Shang, and Jax, no changes. Maybe they can get some slotting changes, but I think they're all pretty good from what I checked. Spawn, no changes. He's pretty good the way he is. Frost, make most of her 2 slot moves 1 slot. I was just looking at it briefly. I never played her. I just took a quick look. She had a bunch of like 2 slot moves that didn't seem really good at all, so make them 1 slot. Nightwolf, no changes. I think he's pretty good the way he is. Noob, no changes. Also think he's pretty good the way he is. Lao, make one of his moves. I think it's called Hat Possession, 1 slot. And then he's good. Baraka, make Blood Lunge 1 slot. And I think he's pretty good. And then also try to increase his dash speed. He's really slow. He has probably the worst dash in the game. Some of the worst movement. Devora, make her Terminate move where she turns into like a bug. Make that unbanned and make it like 1 slot. Don't make it base kit like I said for Terminate, but make it 1 slot so people can use it. Aaron Black, no changes. He's kind of fine the way he is. And I think that's it. I think that's all the characters. I might have missed one. But again, if the mod ever happens, we can actually think about other changes. But that was just to give you an idea of what I want from a mod like this. I don't really know if it's possible. I hope it is. If somebody knows anyone in the community who could get this done, I'd be happy to hear them, hear what they can do, see what they need, see if I can provide it. If they need a team, we can gather a team. We can assemble, if you feel me, Avengers style. But I'd love to see something like this happen. Seriously, it'd be sick. I think this change up like this would make this game like MK 9.2. You know what I mean? Another like MK9 style game. And I think a lot of the old heads who had problems with the game would actually appreciate a mod like this and maybe come back and give it a shot. Because I think a lot of these changes they'd fuck with heavily. Because I think the game is pretty good the way it is. It just has a few mechanical changes, or mechanical issues. But with that, I'll leave you guys. Hope you guys have a good one.